Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. Hey, baby, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm all right. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. I'm excited because we got a fun program in store. A lot of great stuff we're going to be talking about. And I have a guest. Guess who I'm going to talk to?
Who's that?
Justine Santenello. We're going to be talking about extra change. Think about this. Think about how much change you have stuck in maybe your glove compartment of your vehicle or in a drawer somewhere in a jar. All of that money can be utilized to help buy stuff for Christmas or to be given to others. So we're going to be chatting a little bit about that. Taking your spare change and making something of it. And take a listen to this. Do you know what cytophobia is?
No.
It's the fear of eating food. Can you imagine having that? That wouldn't be good.
I kind of wish I did have that. You could just live on multivitamins and water.
And a recent survey says that if you want a raise, the best way to get one is to ask for more work. 82% of managers surveyed said the best way to be considered for a raise is to be one of those people saying, hey, is there any more I can do around here? Because, by golly, I love what I'm doing. So, there you go. A couple of fun things there. Got some special stuff this weekend. We'll tell you all about it in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's tell you the whole darn weekend. Saturday, December the 10th, is Day of the Horse. Dewey Decimal System Day. Gingerbread Decorating Day. Our daughter does that every year with Grandma, doesn't she?
She does.
That's pretty darn cool. Human Rights Day. International Shareware Day. Jane Addams Day today. National Wreaths Across America Day. And Nobel Prize Day. Sunday, December the 11th, International Mountain Day. Maulid al-Nabi Day, UNICEF Birthday, Worldwide Candle Lighting Day, the Compassionate Friends Day, and World Coral Day. So all of that going on this weekend. It's a busy weekend.
There you go.
Holy cow, a lot of stuff to do out there. Of all of those, I think the one that I would like to celebrate the most would probably be the gingerbread house. Because
What about the Dewey Decimal System?
Yeah, every time I hear that, I think of
Weird Al.
Yeah. The Dewey Decimal System. It's from the movie UHF. And for those of you who haven't seen that, trust me, you got to see that. Coming up, we got some fun stuff. It's all on the way on a weekend edition of the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This is my favorite time of year. The lights, the fun parties, and the family get-togethers. Many of us have boxes of home videos capturing these memories. But sadly, these memories are fading away because the videotape was not the best format. My friend CJ has a business called Tape It Up Reproductions. They transfer your precious memories to a digital format with the option to enhance the audio and the video to make them look and sound better than ever. His website is tapingitup.com, or you can call or text 412-766-1679.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Can you imagine being at the same job for over 52 years?
Well, if you like your job, yeah.
Well, there's a woman that's done exactly that. She's been filled with dog days. Plenty of dog days for Dolores Larkin. She's loved every one of them, too. She's been serving up hot dogs for 52 years at a place called Casper's Hot Dogs in Pleasant Hill, California. Now, the hot dog lovers are honoring Larkin for her years of buns and franks. Recently, Larkin was given a plaque and an official declaration of Dolores Larkin Day. She received a golden bracelet, some flowers, and a cake, and some champagne as well.
Aww.
Larkin says that when she started her job, she only intended to work through Christmas. Now, 52 years later, she says, I have no plans to retire anytime soon.
Isn't that sweet?
That is really sweet. I think that's really darn cool. So, I know there are people that have worked probably longer than 52 years at a place. But, 52 years is a long time for somebody to work at the same place. So, I don't know that it's necessarily a world record. It doesn't say that. But I think it's pretty darn cool. There are times that I felt like I've worked 52 years at the same place.
Yeah.
I'm like, how long have I worked here? They're like, you just started today. I'm like, really? This probably isn't going to be a good fit. Not here, though, of course. I love it here. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Oh, by the way, this whole dog days thing and working there 52 years, you know it's true? Guess why, Heidi?
Because you heard it on the radio.
Hey, that's right.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. Arkansas sheriff deputies say they arrested a man needing a little bit more to boost his morning coffee, apparently. He was parked right next to their unmarked cruiser outside of a Starbucks in Bentonville, Arkansas. Deputies saw the man take a sniff of some white substance off of a spoon before going inside the coffee shop. They confronted the man, who initially denied that it was cocaine. Later, he admitted that the drug, that's what it was. And you can go ahead and search my car. They found 3 grams of cocaine in the vehicle and some on him as well. The man faces charges of possession of controlled substance, and he was taken to the Benton County Jail. You would think, I don't know, again, I'm not an idiot like these people that keep getting caught for this stuff every day. I mean, every day.
If you're going to do those kinds of things, that's the sort of thing you do in the privacy of
You
your
would
own
think
home.
so.
You don't do that in a car where people can see you
Parked
in public.
next to a police car.
Well, it was unmarked, so he
Even
didn't know that.
still.
But still, if there's somebody in the car next to you, you wouldn't do that because
Why
it's
would
illegal.
ya? Yeah, well, I just don't understand. Doesn't make any sense to me at all. So, I don't know. I just don't get it. What do I know? Kids, it's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. The worst car thieves in history. 2 men ordered a 69-year-old man out of his $100,000 black Audi S4 sports
Holy
car.
cow.
Yeah. Told him to lie on the floor of his garage after threatening the man and demanding his keys. They climbed into the car after one of the guys tried to reverse it and couldn't do it. Second bandit jumped in the driver's seat. He couldn't do it. The pair were unable to get the car to leave because they didn't know how to drive a stick shift.
We've heard that. We've heard those stories
Yeah,
before,
there's
too.
so many. It was at this point they committed an even bigger moment of duh. They asked the victim, "Can you please show me how to put this in reverse? Can you show us how this works?" Could have saved them a lot of embarrassment. Maybe just called OnStar. I don't know. That probably wouldn't have worked either. But yeah, they didn't know how to drive a stick shift, and they tried to steal a $100,000 black Audi S4 from 2001. Sounds like a nice car. I don't have one of those.
From
so.
2001, and it's still a $100,000?
Imagine what it was worth back then. I don't know. Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. A man in Rhode Island was going on Facebook Live. You've seen these people, Facebook Live?
Yeah.
You know, I've not really done that. It's not my thing. But he was doing it while driving
Oh, my
115 miles an hour.
What a moron.
That's not smart. It did not end well. He is alive, thank goodness. But he crashed into a garbage truck going 90.
I hope the garbage truck was empty.
Yeah. Well, I don't
The guy and the garbage people
I don't
working.
know. It doesn't say that anyone was
Because they
hurt.
would have been injured.
He lived. Firefighters had to get him out of his Honda. It took them quite a while.
I
The
wasn't
kid
concerned about the garbage, if that's
Yeah.
what you were
I was-
thinking.
That's why I was wondering. Like, I sure hope he didn't damage any recyclables. What the heck is going on with Heidi? Anyway, the kid was 20. Bad idea, guys. Hey, cough syrup. You ever use cough syrup?
I try not to. I don't like the taste of it.
Yeah, well, after a half-dozen pharmacy burglaries this year, police in California decided enough was enough. The burglaries all had one thing in common. It was cough syrup. Pharmacies were seeing stock go missing. Cops put a small GPS device in a liquid bottle of cough syrup and then waited. Sure enough, the pharmacy was hit. The cops tracked the GPS, and guess what? They found all the other cough syrup, and 2 suspects were arrested. That was a good idea.
What would they want it for?
I think they used that to make drugs, to make a certain kind of drugs. Thailand woman organized a funeral for a lizard. This is the weirdest story of the day. She believed the lizard was possessed by her deceased 12-year-old son's spirit. Now, I don't want to poke fun at this lady. Maybe there's something to it. Mourners gathered at the woman's home for the farewell to the lizard. The woman told a newspaper, "I'm so sad. It is like losing my son a second time." The reptile had been adopted by the family. They fed him milk and yogurt. That was the son's favorite food. And he slept in the dead boy's bed. Yeah. So I'm not sure. Do they have psychiatrists in Thailand? 'Cause she might need to, I'm just saying. And I'm actually being very serious because it's very sad that she lost her son, but I think that she, attached herself to that lizard. I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist, or what would it be that would do that? Would it be if I don't even know? It's a pretty good sign that I ain't one. Whatever it is, I ain't one of those. We got to talk for a second about your dream. Just out of nowhere here, but just out of nowhere yesterday, we just finished having lunch, and we're like pulling up to a stop sign, and Heidi said, "Oh, I had a weird dream last night. I dreamed that we had to eat our dog." I was like, "What?"
I don't even know what was going on. I just remember being very disturbed when I woke up because we had just eaten Miley.
Our dog. We have two dogs. One that's kind of a plump, not
She's
like
not
fat, but
plump.
she's more plump than Miley. And then one that's skin and bones, like you can feel her ribs. And that's the one that we chose to eat in Heidi's dream. I'm not exactly sure why of the two. I'm not saying I want to eat either of them, but I'm saying of the two. I mean, if I had to choose, pretty sure it wouldn't be Miley. So
Yeah, I don't know.
if there is a psychologist or psychiatrist out there, you might want to reach out to Heidi as well. Explain to me what the heck she's dreaming about that would make her think that we had to eat our dog. I don't know. Back to our scoop of the day. What is the hottest new fashion trend for women in Japan, Heidi?
I have no clue.
Painted armpits.
Oh, that's lovely.
Not exactly sure why. The TBC chain of Japanese beauty parlors is offering an armpit painting service, including various artistic designs and glitter sprinkling. Their parlors are offering hair removal services for 10,000 yen. Is that a lot of money? Because it sounds like a lot of money, doesn't it?
I don't know.
10,000
I don't know what yen
Anyway.
equivalates to our money like.
With the painting, it costs an extra 3,600 yen. This includes powder and gels in gold, blue, and pink, glittery sealants which protect the artwork. Going to set you back another 2,000 yen. So now we're up to 1,560 yen. No, 15,600 yen just to paint your armpits and have the undercoating.
It can't be that much because it would wear off.
No, I have no idea. It's not a good idea. Coming up in a moment, we have a guest. This is a good idea. We're going to be talking about how some spare change could save your holidays. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Radio advertising works. When it's done right, it works even better. There are many things you can do to get a better response, and shouting sale really isn't the best thing, believe it or not. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? If you're trying to get people to remember your company, consider a jingle. We work with one of the very best jingle companies in the business, and we'd love to use music to help you grow your company. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Today we got a special guest. We're going to be talking with a young lady that's going to help us maybe find some extra money during the holiday season. Because, we all set budgets, but how many times do you go over that budget? Well, Justine Santenello has some ideas. She is with a website called JustHaves.com. And Justine is on the phone with us right now. Justine, how are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we're glad to have you on the program. And now there are people who have unnoticed money lying around the house. Where do we go to find this? Is it like in the cushions of the sofa, or where do you find this money that's sitting around?
Actually, yes, easier than you think. I love this. I love when we can find money easily at home, or let's say at your desk at work or in the car. So what I'm talking about here is spare change. That's spare change that we have lying around. Also, unwanted gift cards. If you look through your wallet right now, how many unwanted gift cards do you have in there that you've received in the past? You thought you wanted them and then you never ended up using. So these things can actually be turned into cash for you then to use for your holiday spending. So these are things that you already have lying around. And I mean, even if you decide to, let's say, kind of get organized before the holidays, if you're going to have guests over, let's say, and you want to declutter, and then you end up finding clothes, or ladies, some purses that you don't use anymore, maybe old gadgets. These are things that you could then sell or trade, let's say online, or host a garage sale over the weekend. And that also can then turn these things you already had into money that you could now use for your holiday budget.
That's a great idea. Now, you talked about loose change. How much loose change are we talking about? Because if, I get a little bit here and a little bit there, when it adds up, is it usually quite a bit?
Well, so on average, Americans think that they have about $41 in spare change, okay? So now Coinstar, they actually have their own nationwide kiosk data, and this data actually shows us that on average, people cash in $68 when they convert their coins into no-fee e-gift cards. So that's $27 more than people thought that they had. I mean, $68, that's pretty good. So that's what we have about on average.
That is awesome. That's fantastic.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, think of all the things that you could do with that money. So I say, like you said, go into the couch cushions, go into the cup holders of your car. Ladies, go through all of your old purses and see what you have in terms of coins and also those unused gift cards, because you can then turn that into your benefit. So what am I talking about here? Coinstar is actually an amazing resource, can really to help you stay on budget, because you have two different options here, right? So they have those green Coinstar kiosks. We've all seen those, right? You're familiar with those.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, so you've seen those. So you go to one of the green Coinstar kiosks, right? You take those coins that you have, and you can do a few different things here. You can turn your coins into cash, which is amazing, because then you can use that cash for, let's say, gifts or decorations. Maybe if you're hosting this year, you could use it towards your grocery shopping. But then you can actually also turn those coins into no-fee e-gift cards. And they have a lot of different retailers to choose from. So let's say like Amazon, they have Starbucks, Home Depot, they even have Toys R Us and Babies R Us. And then finally, you can also donate to a charity on one of those green kiosks too.
That's a cool idea. I didn't know you could do all of that.
Isn't that cool? So that's 3 different things that you could do just from that one kiosk. And I'm sure that you have a kiosk near you in your neighborhood that you could find really easily.
Now, when we start thinking that's just the change, there's other places you talked about, these gift cards that we have sitting around that maybe we're not utilizing. When it comes to holiday budgeting, what are some good practices maybe that we can put into practice to help us, maybe save some money until we're ready to go out and buy?
Yeah, of course. Well, I'll just start with what you just mentioned, those unused gift cards. You can go to one of the yellow Coinstar kiosks. So it's a Coinstar exchange kiosk, and they will give you instant cash for those unwanted gift cards. So there you go. There's a way to get some extra money into your pocket. But also, in terms of budgeting overall, it seems simple, but taking a few minutes now before the holidays start and writing down a list. So you want to write a list with every person that you need to get a gift for. And don't forget the smaller gifts. So let's say for like your kids' teachers or the mailman, maybe you have a dog walker, you want to include those people on your list as well if you plan to get them a little something. But then also you want to put on this budget list anything else you plan to be spending on during the holiday season. So if you're traveling, you want to write down travel costs, decorations. Again, if you're going to be the hostess and you're going to be going food shopping, getting decor items, you want to put all of these things on a list so you really have an idea of exactly what you're going to be spending and who you need to spend for, what you need to spend on. And you can assign dollar amounts then to every person on your list. So you come up with, okay, I have X amount of dollars to spend overall. Let me now allot that to each person. I also recommend writing down, let's say, maybe 2 to 3 different gift options per person. This way, when you're shopping, if the store doesn't have your first option, you have backups already on your list. You're not running around frantically. So being really prepared with this list of your budget and how much you're allotting to each person will help you go into the shopping experience totally prepared.
And that kind of maybe helps you avoid the hidden costs. Otherwise, you go in there thinking, I need to buy for these 5 people. And then while you're there, you go, oh, hey, wait, what about the teacher? Oh, what about the garbage man? So you get all these other things that pop up along the way.
Exactly. Consumers on average, they expect to go over their budget by an average of $155 this year. And that's up from last year. That's an 11% increase from the $140 they expected to go over last year. That's a lot of money, $155. I mean, think of all the things that you could do with that.
That is, absolutely. Again, our guest today has been Justine Santenello, and she's with the website justhaves.com. Where can we go to get more information? You got some great ideas here. Would we go right to your website?
So you could go to justhaves.com. Feel free to find me on social media, ask me any questions, and definitely check out Coinstar.com. You could get more information there on everything that I went through, but also you can find that kiosk near you so that you can take that spare change. You could take those unused gift cards and convert them into cash or something you can really use this holiday season.
Well, Justine, thank you so much for taking time to chat with us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, and happy holidays.
And the same to you. Again, Justine Santenello right there. She's with JustHaves.com. Bunch of great ideas right there on how to take some money that you already have just laying around the house, maybe sitting in a gift card in your wallet, or maybe in that junk drawer you got a bunch of change stuck in. Find all of that stuff, scratch it all together, and maybe spread that out a little further this Christmas. Thank you so much for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
When is the last time you changed the air filter on your furnace? Now, don't be embarrassed. That happens to a bunch of us. The furnace filter should be changed often. This will help your heating and cooling system run more efficiently, and it'll even extend the life of your system. Now, there's an easy way to make it happen. Filter Easy, a new subscription service that delivers your size filter right to your door on the schedule you choose. It's easy. Filter Easy. One less thing to worry about. Learn about a special offer available now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Water is so scarce in the arid regions of China that in grasslands, people never take baths.
Really?
Yeah, and if they get desperate, they wash their face with yak's milk rather than water.
Ah.
Yikes. By the way, note to self, let's not go to that part of China. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Baseball great Jackie Robinson was the only person to letter in 4 sports at UCLA.
Really?
Yeah, he lettered in, what does it say? All of the sports he lettered in. He supposedly liked baseball the least, but that was the one that he went on to great fame in. So, that's pretty cool. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Mr. Peanut. Do you like Mr. Peanut?
Sure.
Guess who created Mr. Peanut?
I have no idea.
A boy. A 14-year-old. Just a 14-year-old boy. He won $5 in a design contest.
$5.
Sponsored by Planters Peanuts in Suffolk, Virginia, back in 1916. So 100 years ago, $5. And Mr. Peanut is still around today. So there are a couple of fun facts for you right there this weekend.
John and Heidi.
This is Richard Lustig, the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. They do all the work. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, to give yourself the best chance of winning, go to RadioLottoPool.com and join today. Again, that website is RadioLottoPool.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Every once in a while, I like to have these little heart-to-hearts with our listeners. And, this is one for all the guys out there. Because for those of you who don't like to shop like me, you might want to pay attention because holiday shopping can kill you. Yeah. It says holiday shopping can be dangerous for your physical and emotional health, Heidi. Do you agree with any of this yet?
No.
Experts say the stress of shopping for the holidays can cause emotional and physical exhaustion and can be fatal. However, with some tips and some top experts, of course, put some care into helping us make a list, here are things they say that you should do. So tell me if you do these things. Prepare ahead of time. Look at catalogs and ads and magazines to get ideas. Do you do that?
Always.
Wear clothing that are comfortable, especially comfortable shoes.
Yes.
So that's better than going in uncomfortable clothing? Duh. Shopping limits. You want to limit your period to 3 hours at the most. You don't want to, you don't do that.
That I disagree with.
Don't leave home without a list. Make a list of who you're buying
Always
for.
have a list.
And what you think you want to get them. Call ahead to make sure they might actually have what you want and ask them to hold it for you. I don't think that's going to work. If it's, I don't think that's going to work at all. Shop when stores are least crowded. Yeah, you don't do that either. You go on the most crowded days. Like, well, it's going to be really crowded. Time to go to the mall. Take along a large shopping bag. It's easier to carry one bag filled with lots of presents rather than juggling many separate bundles. Shop at stores with easy, no-hassle return policies. Buy a present when you first see it. If you wait, when you come back and go, yeah, I wanted that. Oh, no, they're gone. So pick it up when you're there the first time. You do these things so far or no?
No.
Not onto this list?
Not really. I usually shop around till I can find it the cheapest.
Yeah, you're pretty good at that too. When shopping for people... This apparently is making me tired. When shopping for people who live a long distance away, take advantage... By the way, I'm sorry for just making all the listeners yawn. That was not very nice. When shopping for people who live a long distance away, take advantage of stores that will pack and ship the items for you. That's a good idea. If you can't think of a good present for somebody, don't want to give money, think about maybe a gift card or gift certificate. Who made this list? They said they were experts.
This is a dumb list.
It is a dumb list. That's why I'm getting tired and falling asleep.
And first of all, why is it so stressful for men? They have one present.
Not all men.
One.
Just me. I got you, and I got you covered. She made it really easy. She sent me like 8 reminders.
Yeah, I said,
this is what I want. Get it.
me this.
Get this. I'm like, oh, this is so stressful.
Yeah, I'm so stressed out.
I can hardly handle it. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
John and Heidi.
This is my favorite time of year. The lights, the fun parties, and the family get-togethers. Many of us have boxes of home videos capturing these memories. But sadly, these memories are fading away because the videotape was not the best format. My friend CJ has a business called Tape It Up Reproductions. They transfer your precious memories to a digital format with the option to enhance the audio and the video to make them look and sound better than ever. His website is tapingitup.com, or you can call or text 412-766-1679.
John and Heidi.
Here's a shocker of a story, Heidi.
Alrighty.
A study by the Wichita State University in Kansas and other universities like University of Memphis and Tennessee found that some college majors that don't map into jobs are paying highly to support student debt, and they're struggling to find jobs in their field. For example, a theater degree and a communications major earn the least after 3 years in the workplace, barely $30,000 on average, but they rack up some of the biggest student loans, an average of $17,814. The study's author recommended that entering college, you should pick jobs that you want and then pick a major to get that job. So rather than saying, oh, I'm going to just get a major in, what was one? Theater. Have a degree in theater.
Yeah.
Good luck doing whatever that would
good
be.
luck.
And if for those of you theater majors that are listening, hey, we love you.
How's that job in theater going?
Well, you know what? If they got a job, that's
If
awesome.
they did, but they're very
Kudos to
few
you.
and far between.
Exactly. Coming up, we're going to talk about a 9-year-old doctor. It's awesome. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
When I was a kid, I remember watching a program called Doogie Howser. Remember that?
Vaguely. I really didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
I didn't like Doogie Howser.
Oh.
I saw
Well,
it
it was-
a couple of times.
It was a
but
neat show. Was it the 80s or the 90s?
80s.
Okay, so it was back when, I don't know, a long time ago. Anyway, Sho Yano dreams of becoming a doctor. The only thing is he doesn't have to wait nearly as much as others out there because he is 9 years old, but what distinguishes him from others is he will be in medical school within 5 years. He enrolled this fall as a full-time student at Loyola University, becoming the youngest student ever at the school. After being discouraged by other schools because of his age, he convinced Loyola that he was ready to handle college work. He hopes to graduate when he's just 12 years young and then make it to their med school all the way through by 14. So he has to fulfill all of the university's requirements for undergraduate admissions, including a high school diploma. He scored 1,500 out of 1,600 points. Got a pretty darn good one there. He says, I'm not a genius. I am gifted. Since I have this gift, it may, in some way, be accountable that God lets me use this gift wisely without wasting it. I think that's really kind of cool.
That is great.
So, awesome. Get out of the kid's way and let him do his thing.
That's right.
He could have the cure for cancer or
if
something.
that's what if he wants to do it and he's
Yeah.
capable of doing it, let him be. Just
There you
leave him
go.
alone.
Coming up in a bit, we're going to talk about something else that's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, we celebrate with family and friends.
And sometimes that involves drinking.
If you're going to be celebrating, please have a designated driver.
I lost my cousins to a drunk driver. They were only 8 and 12 years old.
Their lives were cut short because the driver was drunk and made a terrible choice.
Make good choices. Have a designated driver.
If you or a loved one has a problem with drugs or alcohol, now may be a great time for the gift of sobriety.
You can call Keystone Treatment Center at 844-204-1055.
That's toll-free, 844-204-1055.
John and Heidi.
A new study shows that many women between ages 20 and 25 are struggling to get a hold of adulthood. Still, a third live with their parents, and nearly 6 out of 10 regularly borrow money from mom or dad just to get by. 43% of young ladies admit they feel that they have made a number of relationship mistakes, and 1 in 4 of the 20 to 25-year-old women made a mistake with their education, they think. So what do you think of that? When you were between the ages of 20 and 25, did you feel like you made a bunch of mistakes already?
Well, who doesn't make mistakes? That's just silly. Everybody makes mistakes.
I wonder why they just did a study on women. Unless they did a separate study on men and it was so horrible they couldn't even publish it. It's like,
But I will say by that age, I was living on my own. I was working and I was paying my own bills.
responsible.
So, yeah.
Doing your own thing.
I think it's a generation
Yeah.
change.
How old were you when the two of us met? That was about that time frame, wasn't
23.
it? 20, somewhere in there?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're pretty responsible.
Yeah.
Pretty responsible young lady.
Yeah, I was.
Kudos to you. 3 cheers for Heidi. For those of you out there who maybe are in this age group, this 20 to 25-year-old age group, first of all, it's kind of a little harder for me to relate because we're getting older. We have a son that just turned 20.
Yeah.
If you're a single lady, we
But
could...
our son, who is 20, lives on his own.
He does.
Pays his own bills, has never asked us for money.
No, he's a good
He's
kid.
doing great.
So, again, I would be fascinated to see how the men version of this... What would you think? Do you think that they're
I don't
doing
know.
better than the young ladies
Well,
or worse?
there's going to be some in every group, so...
I'm going to just say I'm sure the guys are doing way worse. I don't know why they didn't give you that one, but they didn't. Coming up, we've got some good news. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is pretty darn good news. This is a really cool story. There is a guy who put together a mobile shower unit, and he turned a truck, like a big box truck, into a shower for homeless people. How cool is that?
That is cool. I think I've seen this before, but it is cool. It's very cool.
Yeah, there's a video, and it's from Upworthy, and I see the video is actually from Now This, so I'm not sure why it's on. I don't know. It's from one of those, but I've got it shared at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. But a man turned a truck into a mobile shower unit that helps dozens of people get a shower each and every day. And I was reading through some of the comments on there, and the comments are just fantastic. People that are saying, what a great idea, and how could we get one of these in our community? And it's a really cool concept. Now, I noticed in the video on the side it said sponsors, and there was like a big blank space to put sponsors. So because I was trying to figure out now how do they, first thing I think of is how do you pay for that? Mm-hmm. So he must have sponsors then or at least that was the plan. So I suppose if you wanted to sponsor the vehicle, you could sponsor it, and that would be the way that you drive it from place to place.
There you go.
But they hook it to a fire hydrant. And I was just thinking, wouldn't that be really high water pressure for a shower? I'm assuming it. I'm hoping
sure
that
it compresses as it goes through. So
somehow trickles down a little bit less, because I can only imagine taking a shower on a fire hose. That would not be fun. Anyway, if you'd like to read that story and watch the video, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend. And I want to remind you, you only have a few days left to win some cookies. If you want to win some cookies, remember last week was National Cookie Day. Mm-hmm. We've got some cookies, and they're Mad Minis from Mad Minis, and it's ice cream cookies, or ice cream sandwiches. So 2 cookies, a little ice cream in the middle. If you'd like to win, go to facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.